speaker is a Davaoena native with Negrente ancestry and a Bicolanan heart. Rica's move to the Bicol region in the early 2000s inspired her to tread a path in the elevation of regional heritage cuisine. As a recorded blues food chef, she has a packed schedule day in and out. She has pioneered the Best Bicol movement, headed the research and development team of the Bicolano Spanish restaurant Que Pasa, and launched her own brand of premium Bicol delicacies, Carica. Joining us to talk about working with Wonder Women in the Philippines, live streaming from Parañaque City, ladies and gentlemen, Rica Dakudao-Buenaflor.
Having lived in Bicol for 10 years, it made me see Bicol and its cuisine from an outsider's point of view. But in that journey, it made me discover something really great.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am Rica Buenaflor, and welcome to my wonderful world of women. Thank you so much, Apple and the TNC family, for this opportunity to speak amongst a very diverse group of inspiring and powerful women from around the globe. Ever since this afternoon and this morning, I have been so inspired. This is such a good way to spend a Saturday. Thank you so much. So this afternoon, as I am one of the last that will speak in front of you, my aim is to hopefully inspire by telling you my journey in this story. So I am just going to be very candid. It's just going to be storytelling for me. It all started when I was 16 years old. I first traveled to Paris, and I was sent to Paris by my mother, and that trip really opened my eyes. I first came across Le Cordon Bleu. It is a French culinary school. It is, in fact, the oldest culinary institution in the world. So at that time, when I went to Paris, it really expanded my world. I said to myself when I saw the culinary school, I remember I said, one day I will be going to school here. So fast forward in 2015, I am now happily married to my loving husband and ultra supportive husband, Carlo Buenaflor. Shout out to you right now. He's in the beach, but he hears me been saying this. He's ultra supportive, and we have 5 beautiful children. And we lived in Bicol for 10 years. So I spent the 10 years in my life, as in the introduction, I am a Davaoena, but I ended up in Bicol because my husband had come home to run the family business. So we lived in Bicol for 10 years. And I remember one New Year's Day morning, my husband said to me in 2015. So our anniversary date is December 31 of every year, of course. And every January 1, we would have this planning process. So my husband came to me and said, hey, um, why don't you go for it? And I said, what do you mean? Go for what? And he said, go for finally what you've always dreamed to do. And I said, which is what? And he goes, remember you've been wanting to go to Le Cordon Bleu? And in 2015, I was already approaching 40 years old. And if you remember at the beginning of my story, I discovered Le Cordon Bleu at 16 years old. And at that time, I already had 5 kids. I had a thriving business. And I still am happily married to my husband. But I was just so lucky that I have a supporting husband and loving children that told me, Mommy or Rica, go for it. So, with much hesitation and a mixed emotion of excitement, mixed with, I'm sure moms feel this when you go for a dream and something that you're very passionate about, which may have been sleeping in your heart for a long time. It's a mixed emotions of excitement, guilt. I felt giddy like a child. I again met the little girl inside me. And so in 2015, in June of 2015, I finally pursued my dream. I have been traveling to Paris since 2015 to complete the Grand Diplôme. The Grand Diplôme is the highest degree that you can ever get in Le Cordon Bleu. It's the same degree that Julia Child got. It's the same degree that all the celebrities that went to Le Cordon Bleu have gotten. So when I went in 2015, I didn't know why. I just knew that my heart was singing, my soul was dancing. I didn't know why I did it. I just had this impulse to do it. I had the support of doing it. It felt right and it felt good and it made my heart sing. Little did I know that this trip would stretch to 4 years, and in 2019 was the last class. I'm about to do my last and final sixth module, which will make me complete my Le Cordon Bleu Grand Diplôme until the lockdown happened. So I'm one way shy of completing my Grand Diplôme. But really, that's when my journey started. Um, I learned the best and the top French techniques, and this led me to championing Bicolano cuisine. Because of my exposure to Bicol and Bicolano food, I developed and worked on a brand called Rica. Slowly, my life purpose unfolded right in front of my eyes. You see, my mom, who sent me to Paris, is a very important and strong woman figure in my life. She influenced me to bring pride to our country. She worked for the Department of Tourism. I saw how she brought pride to our country. And this is what I am doing through food and my Le Cordon Bleu degree in Paris. But the story that I'm about to tell you this afternoon is how this sense of pride extends and grows with the people that resonate with my cause. And this is the wonderful world of women of Kirika. Can you show the slides, please? So let me share with you that when passion and purpose come together, this is what happens. So when I came back home from the Cordon Bleu Paris, I said, what am I gonna do with what I've learned? But my heart really was still yearning to express what I am most passionate about, which is Bicolano cuisine, Philippine cuisine, and bringing pride to our country. So the first one that I came across is this beautiful community of women in Gainsa, Camarines Sur. So these are my products. On the left, you'll see vegan laing, sinantolan, and tabanang talangka. And these community of women are the ones that bottle these products. They are women that know Bicolano cuisine by heart, and we've matched heritage cuisine with technology to bottle these products and bring them out of the country. And not only did we bottle these products, but we also elevated the cuisine in a higher level where it can compete and be brought to the world stage. And so it brings me so much pride to see these women come together and be proud of what they do. And when they realize that their products actually go and are showcased outside the country, it brings them so much pride. And it brings me so much joy to see them having this pride in their own province. Next slide, please. And the next slide shows you pili nuts. I'm sure you're all familiar with pili nuts. So because I'm from Bicol, I also again ventured out into the jungles of Sorsogon where I find the pili nuts. And we're all familiar with the pili nuts, which is really, a pampasalubong product. That's what we know about the pili nuts in the Philippines. It's a nut that's sugar coated. We're familiar with that we find in bus terminals, or we find them in pampasalubong shops. But I dug further and I realized, the pili nuts is unique to our country. It is the world's, remember this, healthiest nut, and it's entering the World Health Market as a superfood. So I see this opportunity and I say, this could be a product that can elevate our country and bring it out of poverty. And after all, if you see, pili is in the word Pilipinas. So this is another product that I'm working on together with Department of Agriculture, DTI, to elevate the product from a pampasalubong product to a product that will bring pride to our country. And one bit of trivia and tidbit, did you know that the pili nuts needs two very unique conditions to thrive and to be productive? And they are, one is typhoon, and the second condition is volcanic soil. And those two very unique conditions can only be found in Bicol. So we are ravaged by typhoon, and that's the very reason why Bicol is such an impoverished and one of the poorest regions in the Philippines. But my dream is for one day the pili nuts to alleviate our province out of poverty. The third slide, please. So the third slide shows you my closest set of women. These are the women of Kerica's kitchen. They are Bicolanas, and they have taught me the basics of Bicol cooking. They really have, I've observed the last 10 years, they've taught me the basics of Bicolano cooking and Bicol cuisine. And in reverse, when I came back from Le Cordon Bleu, I taught them all the techniques, and this is how we were able to elevate Bicolano cuisine to where it is right now. We applied the French techniques, we've kept the Bicolano traditions and heritage cooking, and that's how we were able to create wonders. And that's also how we're able to reach people and say, wow, this is amazing, your taste is so delicate, and yet the flavors are a combination of delicate and originality. And this brings me so much pride that my kitchen is comprised of Bicolano women that are empowered, that are so proud of their roots and their traditions. And last slide. And this last slide, because of all these collaborations with women, because of the lockdown last year, all of a sudden, an influx of women have started to knock on Kerica's door, and they said, hey, can we work together? So during lockdown, we've come up with not only food products, but we've worked with a community of women in Bicol. I have a partner that trains women to do handicrafts from their own homes. So what we do is we send them the materials. So these, you'll see upcycled denim Christmas ornaments that women, they are wives of farmers, and they actually work on their handicrafts in their own homes. We send them the orders, and then they make it in their own homes, and they send it back to us. Without leaving their homes, they have their own livelihood. Also, we've already started working with a community of women in Ilocos Norte, and we do beautiful handcrafted kitchen and dining ware. And this has also elevated the dining scene using Filipino products. And also, an even younger set of women, during December 2020, Bicol was ravaged by the strongest typhoon that ever hit the world, and that was Rolly. And so another set of women came together, and mind you, they are fresh out of high school graduate students. And because of our collaboration, they are called Hayag. You can find them, hayag.ph. And they are also a set of 7 women in their teens. And they actually came to me and they call me Tita. And they say, Tita, we see what you do with your community. We see what you do with with Bicol, can we help? So because of that collaboration, we were able to raise in a week's time 2 million pesos for relief and recovery of our dear Bicol. So you see, when women come together, when women bring their hearts out, this is what happens. Magic happens. And this is my story of Kirika. This is my story of my journey. And hopefully, this story inspires women out there to just be who they are, to be authentic, and to have the right intentions. And when you are authentic, when you have your right intentions, and when you use your emotions and your inspiration as your internal compass, magic happens. Diyos mabalos sa Indonga Boss. Good afternoon to everyone, and thank you to everybody for listening to my journey. Good afternoon.